What is up, my fellow gamers? In today's video, we are going over the Force Challenge. Some of the best heroes to use and pretty much just our in general Force Challenge guide. Like and sub for more amazing gaming content. So we got a bunch of different ones going on here. They open up based on different days of the week. You can see that this one unlocks Tuesdays, Fridays, Sundays. I believe on Sunday, every single one of these is available. So Sunday is like your big day to do the Force Challenge on any of these. But for right now, we got no organization and we have this other one. So for no organization, this one is pretty simple. The way it works is you're going to be having 3 different stages of bosses to challenge. You're going to go ahead, you're going to select the lineup. Now, this lineup you cannot change for the duration of this run. So for stage 2, we're going to have the same lineup. For stage 3, the same lineup. Also, their HP will carry over for each different stage. So in stage 1, if your characters have really low health, they're going to go into stage 2 with that same very low health. So this is kind of like a chain of stages together. It's not like refresh, so your characters don't have refreshed HP every time. Because of that, one of the best characters for this is pretty much any healer. If you don't have the pay to win healer, your next best bet is going to be Crybaby right here in the 5th slot, so that you get the healing every time your team is damaged. This, I would say, is the best character for this no organization. And there's going to be one other character that I also recommend, but for free to play, you really have to have this character in that 5th slot. In general, though, if you're strong enough, you can kind of power through this, right? Like if you have your characters at level 200 or level 190, you know, it should be fairly easy to get through, even if you don't have the healer, because you're naturally just going to be so much stronger than a lot of these bosses. However, if you're like a newer player or the Force Challenge just unlocked for your server, then you really want to have that as one of your 5th slot characters. For your main lineup, you want to kind of counter the bosses. Now, if we click on the little dice icon right here with the question marks, you can see the stage info. First boss we have is going to be a red type, and then the next 2 bosses are all going to be greens. So we got 1 red and then we got 2 greens. So we have to keep that in mind when we're building out our team. One of the best reds that you can use aside from Crybaby in your 5th slot, if we go on over, is going to be this guy right here. Take a look at the details. This is going to be Shu, the gourmet guy. Absolutely amazing for the no organization. So not only is he a red type, so he's going to counter stage 2 and stage 3 bosses, which are green, but he also has the provoke ability. So he's going to taunt the enemies, and then you also get that when provoking, attacked by an active skill, he's going to retaliate. So you get that retaliate as well. So you get extra free damage depending on how many stars you have him. You can go ahead and you can grant a shield to your allies. So that helps out because, again, this is a longevity. You're going from stage 1 to stage 2 to stage 3, keeping the same health. So if you're able to have shields on your team, soak up the damage, that really helps as well if you don't have a strong healer. So this absolutely amazing character, one that I highly recommend if you are struggling with the first Force Challenge with no organization. The other one that's going to be absolutely amazing if you do have them is going to be the awakened version of Ken. Really just a blue damage dealer who's really good for the first stage. Now, he does get countered in the 2nd and 3rd stage, but again, depending on how powered up you have him, it shouldn't be that big of a deal, because if we are using Shu, who has the provoke ability, if we take a look at all these enemies, they all have single target damage. So the first enemy, their active skill, they do preemptive damage, single target to 1 enemy. So if we have a taunt going on, the taunt, Shu provoked, he's going to draw all the attacks towards him. So you really don't need to worry about having that mismatch of, oh, well, I'm using this character and they could be countered by the boss. As long as you just constantly have at least 1 taunt going on, you really don't have to worry about that. For phase 2, it's the same ability, and then for phase 3, it's also the same ability. The first enemy is really simple to get through. The second enemy is, I would say, the most annoying. This one is Uda, and it's annoying because their active skill goes ahead and increases all skill levels of your random ally. Now, At the beginning, you know, for these bosses, they don't have allies. So actually what happens is when Uda goes ahead and activates this ability, what he does is he actually summons 2 minions, 2 extra, you know, enemies on his side of the field. So now you kind of have like, it goes from a boss battle to more of like, all right, you got a bunch of enemies to kind of deal with. For phase 2, it's the same. And then for phase 3, he still has the active same skill. He is a green type. So again, we want to have red. So red counters is very, very simple for him. We have our tank to counter him. Really easy. You could also, you know, just throw in any other kind of red character that you have that's really, really strong. But for this stage 2, what I recommend is if you have it on auto, the auto combat is going to start to target the enemies that he summons. At that point, you're not getting anywhere. You really have to focus all your attacks on the boss. Don't get distracted by the 2 minions that he summons. So the second one, I would say kind of maybe if you want to do it faster, do it manually and constantly make sure you are focusing your attacks on the boss. Otherwise, if you attack the minions, once you go ahead and destroy the minions and it's his turn, he's literally just going to snap his finger and 2 more are going to pop up. It's pretty much like endless. So you're just wasting your time at that point and you're really not getting anywhere. Stage 3, really, really easy. For stage 3, we've got a green boss. So again, red is a very, very easy counter. We have 2 different characters though. For phase 1, we have this one. For phase 2, we have this one. For phase 3, we will face both of them, but you can take a look at their active skill. These single target damage, easy to deal with. Go ahead, provoke them, draw all the attacks towards your tank. Really, really easy to deal with. For phase 2, we have a single target damage, but they do have incapacitate though, which is unable to take any actions and blah, blah, blah. This could be a little bit tricky, but really for the most part, it's still not that bad to deal with. And then phase 3, we're facing both enemies. And again, it's pretty straightforward. They're both green. So as long as you have 2 reds on your team, it should be fairly easy. Even if you wanted to, you could probably stack 3 reds and then just go with 1 blue. Because the first stage, like I said, really isn't that bad to deal with. Going ahead, destroying the binge eater, fairly simple. It's really like stage 2 and stage 3 that can kind of give you some trouble if you're like a lower level. For the second force challenge, this one is a little bit tricky because we can only use very specific characters. So if you don't have certain characters unlocked, this is going to be a lot harder for you to deal with. We take a look at the bosses. The first boss we have, they're going to be doing a bunch of damage, but they have a lot of debuffs in this second area, the second part of the force challenge. So the first boss that we're facing, they deal a bunch of single target damage, but reducing its max HP, which can be a little bit devastating. Phase 2, their active skill changes now, deals damage equal to a percentage to the enemy and reduces its damage dealt. So again, we're getting debuffs put on our characters. And then for the phase 3, it goes back to the same phase 1 ability. This is going to be a green character. We take a look, I believe all of them are green. The second one is a green, and even the third one is also a green. So for this force challenge, we really want to counter with red characters. The second stage though, if we take a look at the active skills, deals Blood Piercer. So what this does is when attacked, the target takes additional damage, and this is an AoE attack. So for this instance, tanks aren't going to help us out too much, who are going to be like doing a provoke. Take a look at phase 2 is the same, and then phase 3 changes. We get deals death damage equal to a percentage to all enemies. So the stage 2 enemy does AoE damage. For stage 3, if we take a look, they go ahead, they deal a bunch of single target damage with some more debuffs. For phase 2 and phase 3 right here. Phase 3 is kind of brutal, deals amplification to all enemies. So we're getting AoE damage, and if you are buffed, this damage will be increased. So yeah, this one can be a little bit devastating as well. But for the most part, you don't really have an option of what are the best characters. Really, if you take a look, these are kind of the best characters because these are the only characters we really can choose. You don't want to use an R or anything else. Like, these are really the only main options we have are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, these 6 characters. Obviously, you want to put Crybaby in your 5th slot. So from there, you have an option of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we only have 4 slots. So, you know, you can use the brothers. You should definitely use Jason. Jason's a red, so red is going to easily counter them. You could use one of the brothers because he's a red. The other thing is you could also use Nico, Ladyboy, and Love, just because they are able to go ahead and put the debuff immunity on your team. If we go into details and we look, they lose a bunch of HP, but that's fine because we're going to remove all the debuffs and then we're going to grant our allies debuff immunity. And this stage over here, you know, like we were going over, you know, the enemies for this Force Challenge, they have a lot of debuff capability. So if you are struggling with that, you could definitely go ahead and put them in there. Yeah, I think that's kind of the best team for those two. I hope you guys and girls enjoyed the video. I'll try and go over the best characters for the other two once we go ahead and get them unlocked. So Tuesday to maybe tomorrow, we'll do best characters for this. This is going to be CCG characters only. And then on Wednesday, maybe we'll go ahead and we'll do this one. This is only for, I don't even know how to say this, but another specific type of characters. Hope you guys and girls enjoyed the video. Stay happy, stay safe. I'll see you later. Peace.